been a lot, I would say. There's been a lot of evidence on so many different intersecting, layered issues, some of which I think it's probably fair to say this process could only really scratch the surface on. We've heard about a lot of systemic issues, related to, intergenerational effects of residential school, systemic issues regarding, underfunding of all sorts of things, interface of corrections and the parole board and Indigenous communities, and just so many issues that each could be their own weeks-long process. So that's my first impression, is just as I mentioned, I think at the beginning of the process, the scope, the potentially somewhat narrow scope of what's required to be done in the inquest. I think it would be a fair comment to say it doesn't really line up that well with the large systemic issues that we've kind of touched the surface on.
I really, really believe that the victims' families and that need to be heard. To me, it felt like they weren't heard enough. I mean, I could sense that. And myself personally, and with respect to my position, we're going to fight for policy changes as much as we can. And I'll go right to the minister, public safety minister, the justice minister. These are the kind of things that we need to do. If you're really going to affect change, that's where you have to actually go right to the top. And again, when I was here before, I mentioned that I was very disappointed that Ann Kelly wasn't here. And I believe she should have been. And the other thing that surprised me too is some of the officials couldn't answer kind of like basic questions. And wow, you've been involved as long as I have been. I was kind of surprised because they're intimately involved more than I am. And I thought they would know some of the things that were posed to them. So, and it probably put them in an uncomfortable position as well.